Hello, welcome back. We're going to go through this door right now. Pretty exciting. So this is episode 3 of Talk It Out's new and improved format. The topic for this episode, I'm just going to let this happen. Fuck it. See you guys later. The topic for this episode is forcing yourself to do things / other motivational issues. You're mad. Hey! Don't... Guy just got fucking owned. Alright. So forcing yourself to do things. Motivation. This sort of ties into TAIL, which, as we all know at this point, stands for the ascension is limitless. And my theory that you can be as good as you want as long as you're at anything you want, as long as you're willing to put the work in. So motivation is obviously a huge part of this. You obviously have to have that willingness to grind, and you have to have that that really go-get-em attitude to be able to compete at high levels in anything. Like, you can't... Natural talent only takes you so far, you know what I mean? It only gets you so deep into the competitive scene of any kind. So... Sorry, let me just see if I can... No, I don't want my map. What the hell? One moment. How do I examine? E? That's dog. Butterfly. Owl, I think.
I wonder what it's used for.
I think that's it. Alright. Just gonna stand back here just in case I get that wrong.
Good job.
Thanks. So forcing yourself to do stuff. How do you force yourself to do stuff? And this has been probably the biggest thing in my adult life that's both, for now, inhibited me from being the best I could be at things. And only recently have I begun to understand and be able to tackle it. And what I'm about to, talk to you about, literally, it's not going to make you... There's no secret. I'm going to blow up the biggest myth right now. There's absolutely no secret to motivation. There is no secret to motivation. Everybody, in my opinion, again, this is all my opinion, I do think that the whole, here's a, this is how everybody can blah, 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 blah motivation. No. It's different for everybody. Everybody has to find their own path through it. So I think that the most interesting thing to me that people talk about when they talk about motivation is, everybody's got their own tricks and stuff like that, but none of them really worked for me. Everybody's like, oh, I just did this, I just did that, I changed this about my lifestyle, I changed that. None of them really were, none of them really helped me. Like, I wasn't able to replicate the success that I saw these people have with them, whether it be, coworkers or people you talk to online or watch TED Talks or whatever. TED Talks are really good. So I watched a bunch of these professional athletes, especially. Like, that was the genesis of my study on this, on motivation and how to get better at things. How to get better at motivation specifically, because how do you discipline yourself to have discipline? That question alone is kind of just goes to show all the problems. It's a self-answering question, and that you don't really have a great answer for any of it. How, when you have no discipline, do you force yourself to have how do you even practice that? Like, how can you do that? So it's a big conundrum. Like, how can you do that? And my answer is coming in a second. Haha, building suspense. Easy content creation. I need this video to be 10 minutes long. LMFAO. So I watched a lot of TED Talks, and I watched a lot of like football life documentaries, and there's a freaking switch around here somewhere for this door. I'm really sad because I don't know where it is, but it goes through there. And that was a big topic. Is I really admire these athletes and their tenacity and their ability to just be like, fuck it, dude, I need to do this, I'm gonna go do it. And the drive to work that hard and improve and be among the elite in the world. So I was trying to glean some insight by listening to them talk about just their life and how they approach things and stuff like that. And I think it's really useful to do that. This guy's about to be super mad. You're pissed. Draugr Deathlord. Eat my ass. Oh, I hit that guy accidentally. So that's kind of the I got him. So that's kind of the key is, you know, I listen to all these guys talk about it, and I slowly sort of realize, like, everybody's got their own thing, right? Everybody's got their own way of doing it. Everybody's got their own, you know, their own spin on it. Like, oh, I did this, I did that. But the most important thing is you just have to do it. You just have to. There's no easy way. There's no secret. There's no, like, cure-all. Like, everybody's got little things that makes it easier for them. But you can try things that people tell you, and I'm not saying you shouldn't look to other people to, you know, for suggestions or anything like that, but you also have to put some work in to establishing that yourself. You have to put some work in to be able to say, you know, like, this worked for me, this didn't work for me. You have to trial and error. You have to constantly be thinking and trying to invent your own ways to do it, because odds are you know yourself better than anybody else knows you. So you have to establish your own work ethic, which is really hard. And I'm not very good at it yet, and I'm getting better. And streaming, as I've said before a lot, started as an exercise in self-discipline for me. It started as like I need to be able to stick to something. I need to be able to say I'm going to do something and then actually follow through. Because we've all met those people. We've probably all been those people at one point who's always starting a new project or always starting blah blah blah, and they never really follow through, or it just kind of dies after like a few days or a few months or whatever. So streaming to me was a big thing for me, because I was like, all right, I'm going to set a schedule and I'm going to stick to it. No matter what happens, I'm just going to stick to this schedule. We're just going to do it. And I managed to do that. I set Monday to Wednesday, and I stuck to that for over a year. And then, you know, 14 months in, I started in April 2016, 14 months in, June of 2017, I got monetized. I got affiliated. And that was like a big eye-opener for me, because it was like, finally, you know, like, it was one of those things where I'd worked, and it wasn't always fun. Streaming wasn't always fun for me. Even now, there are certain days where it's not fun for me, and I force myself to do it, and I always end up having a better time than I think I'm going to have. But it's not always fun. You know, there were days where I really wanted to hang out with plans, or maybe I was seeing, you know, dating a girl or whatever, and she was like, oh, are you free on Wednesday? And I had to say no. You know what I mean?
Has camps in the Pale. Entertaining.
So one moment here.
Damn him. I'm glad you delivered this axe to Bolt. If he keeps it, keep your wits about you.
Okay.
The Jarl of Whiterun is
So it started as an exercise in self-discipline, streaming did. So then the monetization thing was like a real shock to the system, because I was like, holy shit, this could be a thing I could make money at. I love playing video games. Streaming's been really fun. Like, I love entertaining people. I've always, you know, whether I wanted to be a musician or a YouTuber or whatever, I've always, you know, been a fan of entertaining people. So I was like, fuck it. Like, this is a genius idea. Why would I not try this? So, you know, I switched eventually from 2 nights a week to 6 nights a week in August of 2017. And, you know, loved every second of it. And then eventually decided to do my full-time streaming thing. And that was pretty cool. And it was amazing. And, you know, I've done 6 nights a week pretty much every week. You know, of course, other than like last week where I was out of town or something like that. But for the most part, I do 6 nights a week every week.
Made to go.
One moment.
I suppose it's time.
I'll talk to you. So, God, fucking, I want to Fusroda this kid, whoever's talking over here. Let's take a little content break for a second. I actually want to Fusroda you right in the face, you little shit. Anyway. So how does this tie into forcing yourself to have discipline? I literally just did it. There's no secret. You have to, what I used was frustration at myself. It's not the most healthy thing, and I'm transitioning out of this because it's really, really not healthy. But what I did was I channeled my frustration with myself, my, you know, inability to find a path in life, all that stuff I was feeling when I was working at my old job and streaming and stuff like that. You know, I go into a job I hated every single day, and it would just wear on me, and I'd spend the entire day being like, man, I just wish I was home streaming, you know what I mean? So eventually that sort of won out, and I had a day, I don't remember the day exactly, but I remember having a day where I was like, man, I don't think I'm going to stream. And something inside me was just like, fuck you, dude. Stream. Like, you want to go back to that shitty job? Or do you want to start, like, building something for yourself and giving yourself a path forward in the future? So,
God might get nervous.
Again, that's not the most healthy thing, because it was out of frustration and a little bit of anger at myself. So I've been transitioning out of that. And, but, you know, I think it's important to give yourself perspective like that by saying, you know, no, I'm not happy with my life, but I'm actually going to do something about it. I'm not just going to sit here and be unhappy and be one of those people who rejects every idea that gets thrown at them for improvement just because they're scared of failure, or they don't want, you know, whatever. They don't want to fail. They don't want to try anything. They don't want to get out of the comfort zone. Like, fuck it. Do it. Just do it. Nike has it right, honestly. Just do it. And the more you think about that, and the more you have that, and it's just like how I talk about confidence all the time. You literally just have to do it. You have to be like, I can do this, and then do it. And if you fail, just be like, yeah, whatever, I can still do it. Look at athletes. Look at football players and basketball players. Those guys talk so much shit, and most of them don't win the Super Bowl. Like 90% of players will never ever win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? These people, they walk around, they're just like, fucking, look at the swagger Odell Beckham has. Look at the swagger that guy has, and he has never won, and if he stays in the Giants and they don't get better soon, probably will never win a Super Bowl in his career, and he's one of the best. And he can make amazing plays. He can get shut down by Josh Norman for an entire game. Make one catch, he's still got that pizzazz, you know what I mean? You need to have that confidence. Not to the, maybe not to that point. That's between you and I, that's a little bit too much. But the idea remains the same. You need to be able to, after countless failures, look at yourself and be like, yeah, I can still do this. Whatever. Like, it's easy. It's not even close. Alright. Where are they? You need to have that confidence. You need to just be able to, and it's very much a habit you have to get into. You can't be, you can't expect that it's going to be easy right away. You can't expect it to be, you know, oh man, I did it for 2 days in a row and now I'm good. It's something that you're going to have to mentally put focus into for probably the rest of your life. Because there's always going to be days you don't want to do things that you have to do things. And there's always going to be things that you don't want to do that you have to do. And at some point, you know, it does get easier though. I find it's very much, and full-time streaming helped with that, because there were days where I was like, fuck, 8 hours of this, especially early on. I was like, fucking 8 hours of this, man. Like, I don't even, nobody watches my stream. You know?
I was wrong.
Like, why? Ugh. It was so disheartening in the early days. Like, I had a couple of my core people, like Bacon Bean and a couple other guys who are no longer around. But my standard audience size was 3. The same people who got me affiliate, basically. These guys are just jerking each other off over here. But you just got to do it. You got to do it. If you want me to go into more detail on this stuff, I definitely can. Feel free to leave a comment or talk to me on stream. Link in the description and on screen, either right now or at the end of the video. Sam, your pick. Alright, Sam, here's one for you. Make this goat cheese. Hover, flip over once, and land on this plate. Go. But that's going to be this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was a lot of fun to make, of course, as always. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Next topic is going to be interesting. Very interesting. So, thank you very much. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Feel free to leave feedback, too, in the comments, by the way. I didn't invite that the last few times, but I do want to know what you guys think of this series, how I'm doing on it, what you'd like to see more of, what there's too much of, other than me saying, But yeah. So, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.